Welcome back to our fireside chat. This is our last fireside chat before spring break. And so I wanted to let you know that we will be taking the week of spring break off, except for there will be, I'm going to try really hard to read the rest of A Tale of Despero tonight so that when we come back from spring break and we start our next camp called Camp Read Some More, and for those of you guys who are working on badges or any of those things, we're going to continue all of those things into Camp Read Some More. But I am going to try really hard to read those, finish up those chapters and finish Tale of Despero before we go to spring break, and then put those out so that you can watch those during spring break. So I have some very special things tonight to share with you. Do you know what kind of an animal this is? Excuse my dog. He's chewing on his toys and making quite a bit of noise. This is, do you know what it is? Hippopotamus. This is a hippopotamus. And look there's a baby hippopotamus too that I have. And these are wood carvings from Africa. And I have the mama and the baby. And then I also have a really beautiful carving of a turtle. And the reason that I have these tonight is I'm going to share with you a very special, real, true life story about friendship. It's called Owen and Mazee, and you can see here, look at, there's a turtle and there's a baby hippopotamus. Their names are Owen and Mazee, and this is a true story of a remarkable friendship. And I'm going to try to put some links on our website. If you go to it will say more links, and then it'll say outside library, and we'll put some more links about the real story of Owen and Mazee. There's some really fun videos that show what actually happened to these amazing friends. And also, hopefully, maybe some stories about hippopotami. I'm not sure which it is. Hippopotamuses. It's like octopus, hippopotamus, and the plural of octopus becomes octopi. We don't say a group of octopuses, we say octopi. And so I'm not sure about a group of like one hippopotamus, what they're called as a group, whether it becomes hippopotami. I'm not sure. Let's look it up. Okay, so Owen and Mazee, the true story of a remarkable friendship. And look at here. Get those fun little drawings. Okay, and there's a title page that shows these two friends. And there's a letter here that I want to read to you. It says, "Dear friends, like so many people everywhere, we were captivated by an incredible photograph that appeared in the newspapers in January 2005. It showed a baby hippo snuggling with a giant tortoise. We read the unlikely pair, now inseparable companions, were brought together as a result of the tsunami that occurred in the Indian Ocean on December 26, 2004. As father and daughter, we were deeply moved by their story of resilience and friendship, and we wanted to learn more. We contacted Dr. Paul Kahumbu, general manager of Holler Park, where Owen and Mazee now live, and Dr. Paula shared with us the whole story of Owen's dramatic rescue from the sea and the healing that Owen drew from his friendship with Mazee. We all decided to write a book together that would share Owen and Mazee's adventure with children and adults everywhere. Then Peter Grest, the photographer whose image brought Owen and Mazee to the world's attention, happily agreed to take part. Before we knew it, this book was born. We hope the incredible story you are about to read inspires you as much as it has us. It shows how connected we really are with everyone and everything. It is also a vivid reminder that even when the world seems its bleakest, we should never give up. With love and hope, Isabella and Craig." So that is a letter written by the people who wrote this book. So here is a picture that I want to show you and give a minute. I'm not always great at holding pictures the right way, and it's kind of hard. So there you can see there's a hippopotamus and turtle. Okay. It says, this is the true story of two great friends, a baby hippopotamus named Owen and a 130-year-old turtle. Sorry, not turtle, tortoise named Mazee. Do you know the difference between a turtle and a tortoise? I think that should be our secret code. I want you to tell me what the difference is between turtle and tortoise. Write it on a little note with your teacher's name and slip it into the box, and you will get a prize. Also, too, this is really big. Tomorrow, if you're watching this on Thursday night, tomorrow morning, there is going to be a raffle, and we are going to draw out the names of two kids who are going to win two beautiful new bikes. And every time that you have ever participated and turned in a secret code or written a letter or earned a badge or done any of those things during Camp Read a Lot, you have been entered into the chance for a raffle ticket for one of those bikes. Okay, so back to our story. The hippo was not always friends with the tortoise. He wasn't always known as Owen, and Owen was not always famous the world over. Here is how it all happened. Before the baby hippopotamus became known as Owen, he lived with his mother in a group or pod with about 20 other hippos. They fed and wallowed in and around the Sabaki River in Kenya, a nation on the east coast of Africa. When he was about 1 year old, heavy December rains flooded the river. The racing water washed Owen and his family down the river until the fresh water became salty and the river flowed into the Indian Ocean, near the small coastal town of Malindi. For days, the people of Malindi tried to chase the hippos back up the river, but the hippos enjoyed grazing the grasses along the shore and in the villages' yards. Since hippos are the most dangerous animal in Africa, can you imagine that? Hippos are even more dangerous than lions. Since hippos are the most dangerous animals in Africa, a full-grown adult can weigh as much as 8,000 pounds. There was little the people could do. So it says here, there's a big picture, and it says Owen lived in a pod of hippos like this one. So a pod is a group that lives together. So with some other animals, they call it a herd, or if it's a group of fish, they call it a school. In this case, when it's hippos, they call it a pod. Okay. On the morning of December 26th, 2004, the sea suddenly rushed high onto the beaches, and surging waves pounded the shore. Many of the villagers' boats were damaged, and the fishermen had to be rescued. Before long, the sea was calm again, but it was a frightening time for everybody. A day passed before anyone thought to check on the hippos. The villagers now saw only one hippopotamus in the sea, a baby without his mother. Stranded on a sandy coral reef among the seagrass, tired and frightened, he was unable to reach the shore on his own. Soon, hundreds of villagers and visitors were working together to help the young hippo. They knew he would become sick if he stayed in the salty seawater long. They used ropes, boats, fishing nets, and even cars to try to rescue him and bring him ashore to safety. So you can see here, here's a picture of poor Owen, who is stranded in the ocean on a coral reef. And you can see here their boats, and it says Malindi fishermen and their colorfully decorated wooden boats. So a lot of boats were damaged, but they used, you're going to see how they try to rescue Owen. It was soon clear that a rescue wouldn't be easy. Though the baby hippo was only about 2 feet tall and weighed a hefty 600 pounds and was slippery and strong, and the hippo was alarmed by all the human commotion. Angrily, he broke through their nets and escaped from their ropes. Hours went by, and the anxious crowds of people who gathered to watch feared that the hippo would not be saved. Finally, with a stronger shark net, the rescuers were able to catch the hippo. A brave visitor named Owen Sabayan tackled him, stopping him long enough to let others secure the net. That is why, when it came time to choose a name for the hippo, it seemed only right that he should be called Owen. At last, the rescuers towed the baby hippo toward land. When they reached the shore, a loud, joyous cheer went up from the thousands of men, women, boys, and girls who now crowded the beaches. Their happy cries could be heard almost a mile away. Wrapped in the net, Owen was hoisted into the back of a pickup truck and brought into a shady spot. Bodhi's driving me crazy. He's trying to get me to play with his ball, but not now. Silly dog. Okay, cheers could be heard almost a mile away, and you can see all the people here, that took part in trying to rescue him. And do you see the pickup truck that they're trying to lift him into? Look and adults are working, children are working, everybody's trying to save this poor baby hippo. People weren't sure where Owen should be taken next. They called Haller Park an animal or howler. I'm not sure if it's holler or howler. But it's an animal sanctuary about 50 miles away near the city of Mombasa. Dr. Paula Kahumbu, the manager, immediately offered a place to live there. She explained that he could never be returned to the wild. Since he was still a baby, he wouldn't have learned how to fend for himself yet. Do you know what fend for himself means? It means take care of himself. And he would never be welcomed into another hippo pod. He would be seen as an intruder and attacked. But they would take good care of him in Haller Park. Dr. Paula offered to drive him to Malindi herself to bring Owen to his new home. Dr. Paula knew she would need help. She asked the chief animal caretaker, Stefan Tuhui, to come along with her. She knew that Stefan had a special way with animals. Some people said he could even talk to them. Dr. Paula and Stefan quickly set off in her small truck to Malindi. Meanwhile, ecologist Sabine Beher got to work with others at Haller Park to prepare for Owen's arrival. So these are the people that are involved. Okay, so we have here Dr. Paula and Stefan and Sabine. Okay, and it says here, Dr. Paula, Stefan, and Sabine were eager to help the orphaned hippo. When Dr. Paula and Stefan arrived, when Dr. Paula and Stefan arrived in Malindi, they helped to remove the nets and lead Owen out of the pickup. But Owen became angrier than ever and charged at the people gathered around. They tried to help him calm down by wrapping a blanket around his head. That way he wouldn't see the things that were upsetting him. But Owen was angry about that too. After many hours, about a dozen rescuers managed to move Owen from the pickup truck into Dr. Paula's truck, tying him so that he would be safe during the long drive to Haller Park. Everyone tried to make Owen as comfortable as possible. You can see here in this picture, they've all got their hands on him and they're trying to hold him down and calm him. He must be so scared. Can you imagine? He's a baby and he's been I don't know what happened to the rest of his pod. I even hate to think of what happened to them in the tsunami, including his mom. But he had been out at sea on a coral reef, and then he had people trying to rescue him. But that must have been so frightening for him. So he's very, very upset. Meanwhile, Sabine and the other workers prepared a large enclosure for Owen. They chose a part of the park that had a pond and a mud wallow, as well as tall trees and brush, everything a hippo could want. The area was already home to a number of bush bucks, vervet monkeys, and a giant Aldabra tortoise named Mzee. Mzee, whose name means wise old man, in the Swahili language, was the oldest creature in the park, about 130 years old. He had been alive since before Stefan's great-grandmother was born. He wasn't very friendly except to Stefan, who seemed to know just what he liked, such as getting tickled under the chin. Otherwise, Mzee kept to himself. No one could have guessed how Mzee's life was about to change. And here you can see there's a picture of Stefan giving Mazee a little tickle under his chin. Isn't he cute? I love turtles and tortoises. Okay, and over here, you can see Mazee. Okay, can you see his head down there in the front and his giant shell? 130 years old. Can you imagine? Oh, my dog is giving me a kiss. He's so silly. Finally, Dr. Paula and Stefan arrived with Owen, who was now weak and exhausted. As soon as the ropes that held him were untied, Owen scrambled from the truck directly to Mazee, resting in a corner of the enclosure. Owen crouched behind Mazee, the way baby hippos often hide behind their mothers, for protection. At first, Mazee wasn't happy about this attention. He hissed at Owen and crawled away, but Owen, who could easily keep up with the old tortoise, did not give up. Slowly, as the night went on, Mazee began to accept his new companion. When the park workers checked on them in the morning, Owen was snuggled up against Mazee, and Mazee didn't seem to mind at all. So here you can see in this picture, look at, there's Mazee, the turtle, and Owen behind him. And then look in the morning when they found him, they were snuggled. It says that night Owen and Mazee snuggled together. Over the next few days, Mazee continued to crawl away, and Owen continued to follow him. But sometimes it was Owen who would walk away from Mazee, and Mazee who would follow. Bit by bit, Mazee grew friendlier. At first, Owen wouldn't eat any of the leaves left out for him. Stefan and the other caretakers were worried that he would weaken even more. Then they noticed Owen feeding right beside Mazee, as if Mazee were showing him how to eat. Or perhaps it was Mazee's protective presence that helped Owen feel calm enough to eat. No one will ever know, but it was clear that the bond between Owen and Mazee was helping the baby hippo to recover from being separated from his mother and stranded in the sea. So it says here, look at, they're eating the leaves. With Mazee by his side, Owen began to eat, and look at, he's even starting to grow bigger. Over here, look at them together. Whoops. Can you see them there in the leaves? Oh gosh, their little heads are together. Can you see that? As the weeks went on, Owen and Mazee spent more and more time together. Soon they were inseparable. Their bond remains very strong to this day. They swim together, eat together, drink together, and sleep next to each other. They rub noses. Owen leads the way to different parts of the enclosure, and then Mazee leads the way. Owen playfully nuzzles Mazee's neck, and Mazee stretches his neck forward, asking for more, just as he does when Stefan tickles him under the chin. Though both animals could easily injure each other, they are gentle with one another. A sense of trust has grown between them. So here you can see them in the water. Do you see them there? Can you see? I see Mazee's face, and I see Owen. Looks like they both like to hang out in the water. And then look over here. Look at him. He's giving him a little kiss. So nice. Wildlife experts are still puzzled about how this unlikely friendship came to be. Most have never heard of a mammal such as Owen and a reptile such as Mazee forming such a strong bond. Perhaps for Owen, it happened this way. Young hippos like Owen need their mother in order to survive. An old, slow tortoise like Mazee can never protect Owen the way a fierce mother hippo could. But since Mazee's coloring and rounded shape are similar to a hippo's, it's possible that to Owen, Mazee looked like the hippo mother he needed. Harder to explain is the affection that Mazee seems to show for Owen. Like most Aldabra tortoises, Mazee has always preferred to be alone, but sometimes these tortoises live in groups, and perhaps Mazee sees Owen as a fellow tortoise, the first tortoise he's willing to spend time with. Or perhaps Mazee knows that Owen isn't a tortoise, but he likes him anyway. The reasons are unclear, but science can't always explain what the heart already knows. Our most important friends are sometimes those we least expected. Okay, and here we have Owen and Mizzy are playing Follow the Leader. Isn't that fun? News of Owen and Mizzy's friendship quickly spread around the world. People all over have come to love Owen, who endured so much, yet never gave up, and Mizzy, who became Owen's friend when he needed one the most. Their photographs have appeared in countless newspapers and magazine articles, television programs, and even a film documentary has been made about them. Visitors come to Howler Park every day to meet the famous friends. And here it says, Owen and Mizzy look out for each other. Aren't they sweet? Owen suffered a great loss, but with the help of many caring people and through his own extraordinary resilience is one of our character traits. Do you remember what resilience means? Owen has begun a new happy life. Most remarkable is the role that Mizzy has played. We'll never know for sure whether Owen sees Mizzy as a mother, a father, or a very good friend. But it really doesn't matter. What matters is that Owen isn't alone, and neither is Mizzy. And that is the true story of Owen and Mizzy, two great friends. And look at, they're having a snuggle. Oh, look at it. Looks like Owen's smiling. I love this story. So here it shows some information about Kenya and Malindi, where the Heller Park preservation area is. And here it shows about, they are called hippopotami and Aldabra tortoises. I'll tell you what, I'm going to leave this book in the library. We're kind of having, Mrs. Wolf is so awesome. And I don't know if you've noticed, but my shoebox diorama is in there. It doesn't have mice in it yet. I'm still working on making those with clay. But it has my owl puppets and their nest, and now it has a shoebox diorama. And I'm also going to place this book there so that you can take a look at it when you're there. But it tells you a little bit about hippopotami, which means hippopotamus, only plural, and Aldabra tortoises. And then it also gives some information about the tsunami here and their wonderful caretaker, Stefan. So I'm going to leave this in the library for you. And I'm very excited about giving away a bike tomorrow for 2 kids. So 2 different bikes are going to be given away. I have 2 children who wrote beautiful letters to Despero just at the time when he needed some encouragement, which I thank you for that. And there are kids who are already starting to earn badges for book reports and shoebox dioramas and author studies. So you have the opportunity to do all of those things. If you haven't had time to do those things, don't worry. We are going to do Camp Read some more after spring break, and you'll have more chances. So I am off to try to read the rest of Tale of Despero. And I hope you have a wonderful night. There should be a new song from our amazing music teacher. Please say thank you to her when you go to music class for all these amazing camp songs. She's put a lot of extra work in. Oh, there's Bodie again. Hey, Bode. Oh, he's wrestling with the kitty. So anyway, have a wonderful night. And I look forward to seeing you at school tomorrow. Talk to you later. Bye.